The history of Anubis's Mothership. Anubis's Mothership was a new class of Goa'uld vessel in service around 2003. Designed to serve as the flagship of the Goa'uld Anubis, two such vessels are known to have existed, with the second one having served as a replacement after the destruction of the first. Anubis's mothership's length was 2,000 meters, width 1,200 meters. It had sublight and hybrid drive engines. The first model used the eyes of the Goa'uld as fuel. The refit used naquadah. It had upgraded Goa'uld shielding, an upgraded Goa'uld sensor array. It also had a plasma superweapon and upgraded staff cannons. This ship could hold 50 plus death gliders, 50 plus Alcash. It also carried Anubis's escape pod, crewed by 1,500 Jaffa, and 20 transportation rings. Anubis's mothership is superior both in size and power to any other Goa'uld vessel previously constructed, and constructed using a combination of Goa'uld and ancient technology. This ship far surpasses the Hatak class vessel utilized by other Goa'uld system lords, in part aiding in Anubis's efforts to conquer the galaxy. The base design of the mothership was a massive disc shape surrounded by numerous spikes protruding from the vessel's edges. Unlike the Hatak, this mothership did not possess a central pyramid structure but rather a large dome. When opened, the several large panels that composed the dome retracted to reveal Anubis's unique and powerful plasma weapon. When activated and powered sufficiently, this weapon was capable of decimating an entire fleet of Hatak-class ships with relative ease. The dome also contained an escape vessel, allowing the commander of the Goa'uld to escape. This ship contained numerous heavy plasma turrets capable of making this vessel a truly formidable craft even without the central superweapon. Each turret comprised of two large cannons which fired staff cannon-like bolts. While posing great threat to enemy capital ships, much smaller ships, such as the Tory F-302 fighter interceptor, were in some cases able to evade these weapons through outmaneuvering. However, the mothership also carried over 50 death gliders capable of dealing with such crafts. Anubis's mothership boasted a powerful energy shield capable of protecting the vessel from even the most intense bombardment from an entire Goa'uld fleet. Weapons fire that struck the shields resulted in an orange energy field, extending across the craft, protecting the hull from damage. However, when in the atmosphere of a planet, the shield's strength was reduced to only 40% effectiveness. It was this weakness that eventually led to the destruction of the first ship at the hands of the fleet of the Goa'uld ships in orbit of Langara. The only weapons powerful enough at the time to pierce these shields under normal circumstances are the ancient drone weapons. The first mothership was constructed at an unknown time, but first seen in action by 2003. Utilized by the fallen system lord Anubis, it served as the flagship of his fleet in his attempts at dominating the High Council of the System Lords, in order to become the overall leader of the Goa'uld Empire. To that end, he began a galaxy-wide search for the eyes of the Goa'uld, which would give him an incredible advantage over the other Goa'uld and enable him to successfully power his new superweapon. This eventually led him to the planet Abydos in search of the final eye, the Eye of Ra. During a standoff against SG1, the mothership was surrounded by Hatak motherships under the command of Lord Yu, who demanded his immediate surrender. However, Anubis was able to trick the ascended Dr. Daniel Jackson into giving him the Eye of Ra, under the promise of leaving the people of Abydos alone. Anubis was then able to unleash the full power of his superweapon against Yu's fleet, which was decimated. Anubis then used the weapon to destroy the planet Abydos, having gone against his promise to Daniel Jackson. Anubis's ongoing search for the lost city of the ancients, as to gain technological superiority over the Goa'uld system lords, later led him to the planet of Vis Uben, the location of which he discovered from the faked ancient records detailing a city there. that Jonas Quinn and Daniel Jackson created and was planted with the help of the Tok'ra. Once in orbit around the planet, he deployed his soldiers to find details on the lost city, but found out it was a trick orchestrated by the Tau'ri, who infiltrated his mothership and used one of their F-302 fighter interceptors to attack a weak point in the flagship's power core, which destroyed the power source. This resulted in the loss of Anubis's chief advantage over the Goa'uld, but he managed to learn from a captured Jonas of a powerful variation of Naquadah that was located on his homeworld. To that end, Anubis traveled to Langara in order to conquer it and use the planet's ore to refuel his mothership's superweapon. However, the ore ultimately proved too unstable to be used as a viable power source. Furthermore, Anubis was thwarted in his attempts at securing Thanos' research by SG1, who managed to convince Lord Ball to attack Anubis' mothership while it was in the atmosphere of a planet. His mothership was destroyed, but not before Anubis managed to retreat in his escape craft. Despite the loss of his original flagship, Anubis returned in yet another ship of similar design to lead a massive Goa'uld fleet to Earth in hopes of claiming the lost city of the Ancients. After arriving in the system, he probed the planet's defenses and attempted to lay claim to the ancient outpost discovered in Antarctica. However, his efforts were thwarted by Colonel Jack O'Neill, who utilized the outpost's defenses, thus releasing a massive swarm of ancient drone weapons that completely obliterated Anubis' fleet, thus destroying his flagship. Hey, thank you for watching the history of Anubis' mothership. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share if you can, and thank you very much for those who have subscribed. The history of the Cheops class warship. The Cheops class warship, also known as the Pyramid ship, was a type of spaceship used by the Goa'uld. Ra and Harrower were both known to each own at least one of these ships. Locations: main throne room. This room is apparently close to the top of the ship. This can be deduced from the fact that when the armor at the top retracts, it allows natural light to enter the throne room. If one enters the throne room from the transportation rings, there will be a throne visible at the other side of the room, and the ring platform is nearly encircled by the arms of a statue. This ship also contains a dungeon. The only part that is shown in the movie is a deep pit in which prisoners are forced to stand in chest-high water, with the only way in or out being a grate at the top. There is a small death glider bay at the front of the ship that can hold at least 2 Utah-style death gliders. This ship also has landing clamps. When the Cheops class lands, the lower parts of the ship clamp onto the pyramid underneath. The purpose of this is unknown. Part of Dr. Daniel Jackson's academically rejected theories about the ancient pyramids were landing sites for ancient spaceships, which turned out to be the Goa'uld, or specifically Ra's pyramid ships. In 1995, Colonel Jack O'Neill and Daniel destroyed Ra's Cheops class warship along with Ra using a Naquadah-enhanced nuclear warhead, which Ra had been planning to send to Earth through the Stargate. Ra seems to have used the ship almost exclusively, using it even during his time on Earth. Harrower had also used similar ships, which were used to invade Chimera and land on Abydos. Background information. During Mobius Part 1 and Mobius Part 2, Ra's Cheops class ship is shown to have landed on the Great Pyramid during the ancient Egypt scenes. However, the alternate Teal'c incorrectly identifies it as a Hatak. On the other hand, this may not be an error. In the episode Thor's Chariot, Garwin says there was fire in the heavens, 5 or 6 bursts in a straight line, but no sound, and then a great metal point came through the clouds. And Teal'c replied, a Goa'uld Hatak, a pyramid ship. Later, the only ships seen were Cheops class, which may have meant the Cheops is a variant of the Hatak, like the transport variant that Anubis and Goa'uld used in their attempt to attack Earth in 1997. The footage of Harrower's ship landing on Abydos in Secrets is actually footage from the film played backwards of Ra's ship lifting off. Hey, thank you for watching the history of the Cheops class warship. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe if you've already subscribed. Thank you very much. Have a great day.